Welcome in to the Team FYN Sports North Georgia Kickoff Show. I'm Tim Tow, joined by Team FYN Sports Director Jake West. Jake, it's already week 3. We wait all off season, and already we're here in week 3. Crazy to believe, but it's here. Another week of exciting football games are upon us. You even got to make a trip to Georgia last week, Jake. Go ahead and tell us how that went.
Yeah, man, instant classic over in Commerce, Georgia last week as Murphy traveled to Commerce and took on the Tigers. 15-14 ball game, and Murphy was able to come away with a victory because they went for 2 early in the second half. Great ball game all the way down to the wire. Obviously, a very good defensive battle from both teams, but after Commerce knocked off the number 1 team in the state of South Carolina last week, I didn't think things were going to go too good for the Bulldogs, but they went down there and they were able to get a win. And we had a perfect, beautiful broadcast on FYNTV.com. It's a great night to be a Bulldog. Obviously, the Potluck football guys who we talked to last week weren't too excited with the outcome of the game, but it was a great game through and through.
Absolutely. A lot of great games. I obviously was at the Fannin Gilmer game. What a game that was. A capacity crowd. There was not many empty seats in the place at Huff Mosley Memorial Stadium. Gilmer County comes out with the victory, 49-35. Very impressed with Gilmer County, Jake. We've been saying it all offseason. Don't sleep on Gilmer County. And I think it's safe to say the Bobcats are for real now. There's no way that you cannot look at this Gilmer Bobcat team and be scared of them. Coach Paul Standard has done a tremendous job in his second season at Gilmer County.
Yeah, he has. And you mentioned in our little intro there a minute ago, we're already into week 3. I was going to say, if you would have told me heading in to this year, already being into week 3, that the Fannin Rebels would be 0-2 and Gilmer and Lumpkin would be 2-0, I would not have believed you. I knew those 2 programs were going to take a huge step forward, but I didn't think this was going to be the year. I thought maybe next year or the year after that would be when they finally got back on the horse. But, man, Coach Standard, and I think we do have an interview that we'll play here in just a second with Coach Standard, but what a great job he and his staff are doing. You were there, Tim. Tell us about the atmosphere and just kind of what went on. I think it was pretty close all the way up until the end.
Yeah, it was. It was strike for strike. Fannin was scoring, Gilmer was scoring. Nobody could stop anybody there for a little bit. The key moment in the game came when Gilmer did a little pooch kick down the Fannin County sidelines, and they fell on it, and that gave Gilmer that extra possession. And the Bobcats a 14-point lead after they scored right there, and they didn't look back. Hunter Watkins, my goodness, we've heard all offseason about Kiker, and he's a great player too. Not taking away nothing from him, but the performance Watkins had on Friday night, just unbelievable. And Rellinger, the quarterback, played great. I think Coach Standard mentioned him in his interview how good he was with his decisions. But Gilmer County, I'm telling you, you've got that. There's a lot of buzz in Bobcat Nation. We actually got to host the youth football teams from Gilmer on Saturday, and those coaches, we're saying, we've waited a long time for this. They've got a good coach, and now they're saying, look, let's leave him alone. Let's let him do his thing. It's obviously working. Let's let Paul Standard come in and build our program back up, and it's working.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and hear from Coach Paul Standard after their win last week against Fannin and hear what his thoughts were.
All right, Coach, what happened tonight?
Well, we hosted one of our 2 big rivals, and I've quickly understood and come to know that the Fannin and then later the Pickens game are big. And what a great crowd tonight. Our community was unbelievable. They brought a tremendous crowd. We had two good football teams, went at each other, and I'm very, very proud of the Bobcat team because they played their hearts out. It's been a long time since Gilmer has beaten Fannin, and I think that's been hanging over our guys' head and kind of a lot of weight on them. And I think tonight there's no question that weight is off our back, and our kids know that we can, if we'll do what we're asked to do and we'll work like they've been working, we can be successful here. And that's a part that I'm so excited about, because sometimes young people don't understand all that hard work. And if it doesn't always work out, they wonder and question, is it really worth it? Which we all know as adults that it is. And I'm just happy for them because they have worked their tail off. Again, we had a week full of sickness. We had some of our guys who played their best games sick and didn't know if they were going to be able to play tonight. But so proud of our men, our coaches, our community. What a great win, and the total team win. And, and people may look at the stats. They scored a bunch of points. Well, you know what? We're a good football team. You don't play to the third round, the second round, in back-to-back years and not be good. And they're well coached and they got players. So, that's football. Tonight the offenses were moving and the defenses were trying to figure each other out. Our defensive staff figured out a way to put the clamps on them, and I was just so proud of that. They made a big special teams play after we tried the same thing and didn't do it. But what was huge, I thought, was the way we executed just our pooch kick, and we got it, and gave us a chance to go up 3 scores. So I was happy. I thought some of our guys that had great games, our quarterback really read the option well tonight. Our offensive line really blocked super most of the night. And, our backs ran hard and took advantage, And they blocked, Hunter Watkins had a career in the first half. I don't even know how many yards he had. And he'll be the first one to tell you because his receivers and his other running back partner, Will Kiker, was blocking for him. Then in the second half, it was a reversal of that. But just proud. And I was really proud of our defense. And, again, I don't want our defense to leave here tonight thinking anything negative. We got to work on some things on both sides of the ball. But I thought we did some great. We did things when we had to do them when the pressure was on. And that, again, is something that may not have been happening around here recently, but it happened tonight. And that's, I'm proud of.
Yeah, the back and forth nature is like a tennis match or ping pong there early on, and that, like you said, that kickoff, the pooch kick, really swung it. It looked like for a while there that might be the turning point in the entire game, the way both offenses were doing. But like you said, halftime adjustments on defense, just like last week.
Right.
Can you explain the process a little bit? Or
well, and they, they obviously had a difficult time of stopping all 3 phases of the triple option, and thankfully our quarterback, who did a fantastic job of reading it and getting it in the right hands. Sometimes it was the fullback, sometimes it was the pitch. That was a lot of times in the first half. Sometimes it was keep by the quarterback. And second half, they did a good job of mixing up their option responsibilities, which did, put us off a little bit. And they just played more aggressive defensively than they had in the first half. And, that was their adjustment. And for us defensively, I think you saw we did a great job up until that very last drive. I think the pooch kick did turn the tide, and we got up by 3 scores, and I think that kind of put them behind the 8 ball a little bit. But we did a much better job on the run game in the second half, and we're going to keep getting better.
Well, I know I can, I would speak for myself, but I think a lot of folks share my sentiments, folks that have been around this program a long time. This is one of those games that feels like a turning point. So big win for the Cats tonight, hosting Fannin, and we'll see you next week when we host the Murray Indians.
Yes, sir. Very proud of our community, and I hope that our community is proud of our boys and all that they've done. So thank you.
Yeah, and this it obviously it stings being a Fannin County Rebel, and that's your rival. But how can you not like Paul Standard? What a great guy! He even in victory. He's given a lot of props to the opponent's team, and obviously, not for trying his best not to forget anybody that contributed to the game. He mentioned how both communities were such well represented before the game. There was kind of an issue before the game that I didn't like. The Gilmer County Gilmer County people were not letting Fannin County people wearing blue shirts sit on the other side. But I think they actually got that fixed and later came and apologized to some Fannin County folks. And that's part of the rivalry, Jake. But great game Friday night at Huff Moses Memorial Stadium, and Bobcats are trending up.
Yeah, they are. They are, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're gonna notch another win in the column here against Murray County this week. So they'll be sitting at 3-0. And Fannin, on the flip side of this game, has got a bounce back week here. Another rivalry game against Pickens County, which I think you're going to get into here in just a second with some guys from Pickens Radio.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's talk about the shootout that Pickens had too. 54-50, and that's not a. I did not misspeak there. 54-50, Pickens lost to North Murray. Seth Griffin had, what was it, 600 yards, Jake?
Yeah.
For North Murray.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow. So a tough loss there for Pickens. They're 0-2. Fannin's 0-2. But let's talk about this, though. 2-0 Lumpkin. Another big win last week over Union County.
Yeah, they rolled in that one. And Lumpkin County is just a kind of like Gilmer County, just ground and pound, wear you out on the ground. Got some good running back play last week. But they did go to the air a couple times, 177 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Cooper Scott, he was our Lumpkin County Player of the Week. And, I mean, his favorite target, without a doubt, is number 1, Cal Faulkner. Cal Faulkner had 5 catches for 111 yards and a score. So when you see number 18 drop back, just know he's looking for number 1, and you better have him covered if you're playing the Indians. But even when they don't have things working through the air like they did last week, in week 1, most of their success was on the ground. They had a couple rushers over 75 yards. They had another, at least one, I believe. Sullins got close to 100 yards on the ground this week against Union County. So it's just they're a hard out, tough team to beat for sure.
Yeah, and Region 7 AAA is just going to be fun this year. With the emergence of Lumpkin and Gilmer trying to get back into this thing, we already know Dawson County and Wesleyan are the quote-unquote favorites. White County has been impressive their first 2 games. We're going to talk to Drew Harris, the voice of the White County Warriors, in just a moment about Chestatee. But, you've got Dawson Wesleyan, with all due respect to West Hall, but you've got Dawson Wesleyan, White County, Lumpkin, Gilmer, Pickens. You've got 6 teams right there. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. Right now, the favorites, Dawson and Wesleyan, are probably going to make the playoffs. What you don't know is 3 through 6. You've got White County, Lumpkin, Pickens, and Gilmer.
Yep.
Those games are going to be so much fun this year to follow. I looked at Massey ratings a few minutes ago before we got on the show, Jake. Has Gilmer right now as a 1-point favorite over Lumpkin. And that could be a deciding game to see who would get in the playoffs. So, man, you're talking about some very exciting matchups when we get into Region 7 AAA.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be fun to watch. 7 AAA is, there was all this hype around 7 AA heading into the year. You could say that's flipped and went to 7 AAA because 7 AAA has got tough teams all the way through the top. But let's not take up any more time with just us two talking. I think we're going to go over and listen to you talk to the guys from Pickens as we preview the Fannin Pickens game, if I'm correct.
Yep, we're going to listen to Jess Walker with Dragon Football Radio on 93.7.
B&M Metals has been serving the Southeast for almost 50 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, B&M Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. They pride themselves on providing great service and quality at a competitive price. Give B&M Metals a call at 706-864-6068 or visit them at 6195 Highway 52 East in Murrayville or at bmmetalroofing.com. B&M Metals, protecting everything that matters to you most.
The Red Tag sale is back.
Who's that guy?
His name is Red Tag. He's here to save some green. He's slashing prices left and right for the home of your dreams. Save thousands on select in-stock homes, that's what we say. If you want to save some green, just look for the man in red.
My name is Gary.
Don't.
Save thousands on select homes at the Red Tag sale.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the Endless Aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
The wait times are shorter, so get to Days and pre-order your new Chevy today. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is your pre-order headquarters. If Chevy builds it, we can reserve your slice of happiness right now. And as soon as your new Chevy rolls off that truck, we'll deliver it right to you. So get it done. Pre-order your new Chevy today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Find new roads.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Metals has been serving the Southeast for over 40 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, North Georgia Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. Give the team at North Georgia Metals a call at 706-276-1633 or visit them at 15544 Highway 515 South in Ellijay or on the web at northgeorgiametals.com.
Welcome back to the North Georgia High School Kickoff Show, live here on Team FYN Sports at FYNTV.com, Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Team FYN Sports. Pleasure to be joined by a good friend of mine, Jess Walker. Jess covers the Dragons with Dragons Radio 93.7 FM. He'll be on the call on Friday night as well for the Pickens and Fannin game. 28th all-time meeting between these two schools. Jess, it's good to have you on the show. Pickens County and Fannin County are both 0-2. We'll talk about that first. What have you seen from the Dragons so far this season?
Well, like I said, we're both 0-2, so one of us will have an opportunity to get in the win column this Friday. But so far, I don't want to say extremely disappointing on the Dragons' end. And of course, at 0-2, it's an appropriate word to use, but there have been ups and downs. Week 1, they faced the Sonoraville Phoenix. They're a 4A school, larger classification than us at 3A. Lost 27-15, and not a lot of optimism to put it lightly coming out of that game. Things kind of looked stale just from the naked eye, from everyday observer's point of view. It would not have looked like a great brand of football. Last week we went to Chatsworth, faced the North Murray Mountaineers, a smaller school this time, 2A classification, but a lot of talent on that football team, especially the offensive end. Quarterback Seth Griffin, he's a stud. He put up a heck of a game, a heck of a stat sheet, 7 total touchdowns. That was a shootout. A good game for stat boosting on both sides. We fell 54-50, lost the lead in the game in the final minute, got close to taking it back. A great drive with just about 50 seconds left on the clock, just couldn't punch it in. However, that game felt much different from the week 1 loss. I think there was a lot of optimism to take out of the week 2 loss to North Murray. Some good signs. The offense looked great, defense not so much, but then again, they were up against a tall task with that North Murray offense. So I think we've got a little something to take with us from last Friday and hopefully show you guys how it's done in 2 days here.
Yeah, and Fannin County, much of the same. It's I did not expect Fannin County to be 0-2 to start the season, but mountain football comes in a lot of cycles. You look at Lumpkin and Gilmer right now. Not a lot of people predicted they would have been 2-0 right now. So hats off to Coach Heath Webb and Coach Paul Stanner and what they're doing over there across the mountain at Lumpkin and down the road here at Gilmer from Fannin. Fannin County comes into the game, 0-2 for the first time since 2012. It's no secret. Doesn't mean they're a bad football team. Does not mean that everybody should be trying to jump off the ship. It just means they're 0-2. And Chad Cheatham's won 30 games in 4 years. He's not had many 2-game losing streaks. So everybody just needs to relax. Fannin County football and Pickens County is so good that they're playing again. We're going to see, obviously we're excited to see the striker kid. A lot of players know all these guys. Isaiah Williams, we're excited to see him. The Marcus Pike kid. Fannin, obviously, Corbin Davenport, Elijah Weaver, both the quarterbacks there can be intertwined. Cade Sands. Been anchoring the defense. A lot of good players still on this Fannin County football team. Logan Long, defensive lineman in the secondary. The Rebels are a little bit young, but they also have very experienced players. Bryson Holloway, Carson Collis, and a good running back that Fannin. Speaking of Carson Callahan has been doing very well running the football for Fannin. So Fannon's got a ton of athletes, and they're going to put it together here pretty soon. So it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be what mountain football is all about. It's so good to be these two teams being back playing, and I want to jump into that, Jess. What's your thoughts on the rivalry being renewed? 2011. It's kind of hard to believe that this is the first meeting since 2011. These kids they play each other first grade through 8th grade. Now they're back together playing on the high school level.
Yeah, it goes a long way with me that we've got this put back on this year, and hopefully in the coming years. Myself, like you, I know we both have deep ties with our hometowns, the schools we graduated from. People who know me well know that means a lot to me, and that comes along with these surrounding counties. Gilmer, Fannin, it really started with Pickens this year, getting back in what people would call the old mountain region. You hear that thrown around a lot. We're back grouped in with Gilmer County, Lumpkin, and Dawson County. So it's the same group of kids that the student athletes grew up competing against, like you said, in rec and middle school ball. And it's great to have Fannin. Mike can't be in the same region with them because of enrollment and classification differences, but it's good to have them looped back in. And I think it's coming at a great time where the two schools are going to be very even keel with one another and have competitive football games despite guys being a classification below us. I do think the two teams will be very evenly matched both Friday night and hopefully in years to come when we compete.
Yeah, it's great to see, minus, Wesleyan, obviously, they're not a mountain school, but
we do have a couple of outliers. Wesleyan, and then West Hall is not quite a mountain school either. White would be the final team of that region. They are grouped in with that same group of the middle school league, the Mountain League. So I know our group of boys, you threw out some names, and we'll throw out some more here in a second, but that the Pickens 8th grade team won that region when they were in 8th grade in middle school. So that was kind of a optimistic point for us when being that they had competed against those teams. But yeah, you throw in like a Wesleyan and that changes things a little bit.
Absolutely. You mentioned the 8th grade team last year. Brian Jones, Ezra Faber, Coach Wigginson's sons on that team. They get Pickens now they're freshmen. So Pickens has a very good young team. A lot of talent on the freshman class. But tell us about some other names to look out for Pickens on Friday night.
Yeah, that was a good group. I was actually talking about the group that's currently juniors. That would include quarterback Sam Stryker, running back Miguel Salto, Pike, and Isaiah Williams, among others on the defensive end. Those are just, I always group those guys together because they're all juniors. They're all offensive skill players. It's an easy group to group together. All good friends from what I understand. But those are four names. Pike had a huge game last Friday, 155 yards and a receiving touchdown. That included a 56-yarder that got us started early in the game. He had a big kickoff as well. So he's a big body and couples that with speed as well. So he's a threat on the outside at receiver. Stryker, you mentioned him. He's got both legs and an arm on him. He's done a great job so far making correct reads, not turning the ball or things like that. We've got on the defensive end, Tanner Morgan had a great week one. Mason Powell is kind of both ways. I honestly thought of him as more of a defensive player until last week he went and put up 3 total touchdowns. So those are all names to look for. I always try to give shout out to some of the guys on the line because they don't make those when we're on the radio, they're not making plays that get their name called. So Charlie Joe Fleming, Bryson Callahan, a couple seniors on the line that do a good job paving the way for all those skill guys.
Absolutely, Jess. That's great stuff. Hey, tell everybody how they can listen to you and Tucker on Friday night.
So we're with Tri-State Communications, WPGY here in Jasper. That's 93.7 FM. 98.1 FM, and you can also find us on the WLJ website, WLJAradio.com.
Good stuff there, Jess. Jess, you got anything else to add before we tow each other on Friday night?
Looking forward to Friday. I hope I get to see the press box up there right alongside you.
Yeah, it'll be good to see you up there. There'll be a crowd. ETC will be there. You guys are covering the game, Fannin Rebel TV. All kinds of ways you can watch this. A lot of eyes are going to be on this game on Friday night. Hey, one of us are going to
Somebody needs a win. Somebody does.
Yeah. One of us will get a win. Jess, thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Tim. I always enjoy it.
You're watching the North Georgia Kickoff Show on Team FYN Sports. I'm pleased to be joined by Drew Harris, the voice of the White County Warriors again. Drew, thank you for joining us again this week. White County will host the Chestatee War Eagles this week. White County 1-1 so far. Have played a tough non-region schedule compared to some of the teams in the area so far. Victory over North Hall and lost to Habersham Central. How the Warriors look so far under first-year head coach Chad Bennett?
It started off really well. Yeah, again, obviously beating a good team, a big rival in a big crowd, unveiling the new field, new scoreboard against North Hall. All that was kind of the perfect start for him, and the guys responded really well, took advantage of some North Hall turnovers, and then went to Habersham, same situation, a border rival there, big crowd on hand. Their first, it was Habersham's home opener, so jumped out 13-0, had a chance to go up 20-0, dropped a pass there that would have put us up by 3 touchdowns, and the kind of swung the momentum. They put in their backup quarterback who was sitting there ready, and he started zipping it down the field and came in and just kind of took over the game, and it was back and forth for about 2.5, 3 quarters, and then just the depth of Habersham Central kind of wore White County down. They don't have maybe 1 or 2 guys at most that play both ways, if even that. I don't remember too many snaps of guys going both ways, and White County's got multiple, so you could see the depth play a part. Plus, it was a very long first half. The first quarter lasted about 40 minutes. The first half in general was nearly 9 o'clock by the time we got to halftime. So it was a long game and a little bit more humid night than what we had in week 1. So the depth really played a part. Plus, we had some key guys go down at moments in that game with injuries. So tough one over there, but it was a hard-fought game. You couldn't question the effort. It was a hard-hitting game, very physical, and that's what you want in a non-region. Of course, you don't want anybody getting hurt, but you want to test yourself in the non-region. That's always been my belief, and all the coaches that have been at White County since I've been doing the radio have all believed that as well. You want to be tested, and you want to have a barometer before you get into region play.
Absolutely. Any surprises so far for me, players that have stood out so far, Drew?
I think we had some expectations on some guys that have stepped. Shripnick's the sophomore quarterback. We have seen what he can do some last year, but this year he's trying to turn that corner and be a prolific passer. He used his legs a lot the other night. But if there was a guy that I would say I'm not surprised, because I know how athletic he is, but he has made some big plays. Kason Duval, he's got a pick 6. He's got a punt return for a touchdown. He's just done a tremendous job in the special teams and on defense. And he's done a terrific job. Kason is a kid that you can plug him in anywhere, receiver and defensive back, punt return, kick return. And he's just a good player, good athlete that you love having on your team. And he is deadly with the ball in his hand. So White County's trying to figure out a way to get him the ball as much as possible.
Obviously, hosting the Chestatee War Eagles from down the road there. What to expect? Anything about Chestatee? Any surprises? Anything like that?
With Chestatee, this is a school that we've always, from my perspective and our coaching staff, some of the guys that have been around White County a long time, have always loved matching up against. Very class program down there with Coach Conley, their athletic department, Matt Stowers, Ben Corley. Those guys are just top-notch guys, and we love going down there and love it when they come up here to play them. Coach Conley has some ties with some White County folks, and so some of them had coached together back in the day, and so just a tremendous program, class program from those guys. Now, they have struggled. Obviously, it's been a tough region for them. They're in a tough spot in Hall County as far as football goes, but they run that as hard working as anybody. And we know we'll get a good effort from them. Now, they had a bye week last week. They're probably going to come in a lot more healthy than White County. They did take one on the chin to Hebron Christian, a very good team who is now up in AAA. So kind of a tough matchup the first week. They've been able to kind of sit back and make some adjustments there while White County got beat up a little bit by Habersham last week. So, we're looking forward to matching up with those guys, and hopefully White County can get some younger guys some time in areas where they might have to step up and fill some of these holes for injuries. And but it's again a non-region game where you want to just keep working on the things that you need to.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Collin. They run such a great program, and obviously we're recording this on Wednesday, Lair on Thursday. But Christian Charles, who was the quarterback there at Chestatee, what a great player he was. He's actually supposed to be starting at Tennessee tonight at the quarterback position. And such a good story about him. I remember when he played against Fannin County a few years ago. I don't think I've ever seen a player actually take over a game like he did. And he ran all over us.
We were
having such good success.
Absolutely, and we actually brought that up, Mark and I and Garrett, our broadcast crew, when we were at dinner last week before the Haversham game. We mentioned that that was just a tremendous opportunity for him, and after watching him play in high school, obviously it was no surprise to us that he got that opportunity, but major respect to that kid for staying at Chestatee because he had opportunities to go other places and play. He stayed at Chestatee and got recruited to an SEC school at Chestatee. And I think that I wish more kids would look at things like that and see that you can get recognized, you can get noticed, you can get offers from anywhere if you just do things the right way. And you're that good of an athlete. So yeah, he'll always have a fan in me, even though I don't like Tennessee very much. But he'll always have a fan in me for everything that he did at Chestatee, and just it's a tremendous opportunity, tremendous story.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like Tennessee either, but I am a fan of Christian Charles. So I'll be cheering for him. It's such a great story, and you make such a good point. If you're good, they're going to find you. It don't matter where you play. If you're a good athlete, with all these camps that they do now, if you're good, they're going to find you.
Absolutely.
Major props to Christian Charles. Let's just call it what it is. He could have went to probably Gainesville. He could have went to North Hall. He could have went to Flowery Branch. He could have went to Cherokee Bluff. He stayed at Chestatee. So
absolutely.
Major props to that young man, and obviously not take away nothing for the game on Friday night against White with Chestatee, but we're very happy for him. Drew, you got a prediction for Friday night?
I'm always gonna go with White County in any kind of prediction. I do think this is a perfect game for both of these teams, as Chestatee will get into region play next week. They get a chance to go up against White County, who, as we said, is a little banged up, but a chance for them to work on some things. And for White County, I think this is coming at a good time for them too. These certain areas of the matchup seem to be even. Certain areas you think White County may have the advantage, but there's still some unknowns there. You've only got one game of film on Chestatee for White County, but hopefully, if White County can get their athletes the football in space, you feel like White County can make some plays here and come away with the win and get ready, get into a bye week, try to get healed up before the final non-region game against Stevens in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Drew, real quick, tell everybody how they can listen to the game on Friday.
All right, you can go to 93.9 FM or AM 1350 if you're in the White County certain surrounding areas, I guess, if you're not blocked by the mountain. But also online at WRWH.com or on your smartphone, tune in radio, just type in WRWH. We go live at 6 with the tailgate show, and we have a lot of good stuff in that tailgate show. We run highlights from the previous week. We have college football segment. We have a UGA report. We take a look at other games going on from around the area. On the UGA report, David Johnston from 960 The Ref in Athens will join us this week. And we've had some great guests on as we get ready to talk, Georgia, Oregon for Saturday. And then in the pregame show, we talk with Coach Bennett before we get lineups and kickoff. So we have a lot of fun.
Sounds good, Drew. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, anytime.
B&M Metals has been serving the Southeast for almost 50 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, B&M Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. They pride themselves on providing great service and quality at a competitive price. Give B&M Metals a call at 706-864-6068 or visit them at 6195 Highway 52 East in Murrayville or at bmmetalroofing.com. B&M Metals, protecting everything that matters to you most.
The red tag sale is back.
Who's that guy?
His name is Red Tag. He's here to save some green. He's slashing prices left and right for the home of your dreams. Save thousands on select in-stock homes, that's what we say. If you want to save some green, just look for the man in red.
My name is Gary.
Don't.
Save thousands on select homes at the Red Tag Sale.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
The wait times are shorter, so get to Days and pre-order your new Chevy today. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is your pre-order headquarters. If Chevy builds it, we can reserve your slice of happiness right now. And as soon as your new Chevy rolls off that truck, we'll deliver it right to you. So get it done. Pre-order your new Chevy today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Metals has been serving the Southeast for over 40 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, North Georgia Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. Give the team at North Georgia Metals a call at 706-276-1633 or visit them at 15544 Highway 515 South in Ellijay or on the web at northgeorgiametals.com.
Welcome back to the North Georgia High School Kickoff Show live on Team FYN Sports. Be sure to follow us on Team FYN Sports on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube. Joined by Team FYN Sports' own RJ Casey and Northwest Georgia Football's Lawrence Morgan. Back for another exciting week of football. RJ, and I know Lawrence is going to want to talk about this one too, but I know this one's special to you. We've talked about it already on the show, but Pickens County making the trip up to Fannin County. First meeting since 2011. It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. You'd think 2 teams that are not even barely an hour apart up straight away on 515 would have played more since 2011, but here we are. It's a nice game to have between the two schools, and like you said, it's the first time since 2011, and it's the first time Pickens has gone to Fannin since 2010. So a lot of these kids that are playing in this game were babies the last time these two teams were on the field. And the funny thing is, these kids have grown up together. They've played each other in like mountain league and all through grade school and up through the middle school ranks. So it's fun to finally get these kids on a high school field together, and they know each other in and out so well since they've seen each other grow up. So it's a fun non-region matchup. This game used to be a region matchup, and now it's a non-region matchup. So it'll be a fun one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat game from an outsider's point of view. Like I said, I don't have as much invested as you guys do in the game, but just to see Fannin's defense against that Pickens offense. I mean, Pickens 50 points last week, pretty impressive. Pickens Fannin with the big defensive stand the first week. I'm curious to see how both teams come out Friday night. Who gives.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. RJ, you kind of briefly talked about it. There's so many connections between Fannin and Pickens. You've got athletic director Chris Williams, who played football at Fannin. A running backs coach Daniel Lang for Pickens County, who played football at Fannin. You touched on all of these kids that they play each other from the Mountain Football League, from elementary to middle school, from first grade to eighth grade. Every year for the past, I don't know how many years, they've all played together. But since 2011, they've not played in high school football. They play each other in basketball and baseball, obviously, but not in football. These guys know each other. They're friends on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They all follow each other. I would say it's a friendly rivalry. There's not really hatred between Pickens, because we all cheer when Pickens and Gilmer plays. All the Fannin people cheer for Pickens. When Fannin and Gilmer played last week, all the Pickens people were cheering for Fannin. But it is a friendly rivalry in essence. These guys know each other very well.
Yeah, and as you were saying, it's not like the quote unquote hatred you'd see between Gilmer and Fannin or Pickens and Gilmer. It's just I think a rivalry would be there if they'd have played each other more in football throughout the years. But it's a mutual respect type thing between the two teams. So it's a fun game. Like you said, they play each other in basketball maybe once or twice a year, and they'll maybe do a series here and there in baseball. But now they've gotten this game back established. Hopefully, after this year and next year, then they can grow into that and make it a yearly thing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about the game, RJ?
I'm looking, like Lawrence said, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Pickens offense can do. They finally got off the snide after a tough Sonoraville game in week 1. They were able to have some success against North Murray in a tough loss at North Murray. But we'll see if Sam Stryker can continue his good play at 325 yards and a couple of touchdowns against North Murray. Marcus Pike had a big night, and a couple of running backs did as well. So we'll see how that does, and we'll see how Pickens' defense fares against Fannin. I know Fannin came up short against Gilmer last week, but Fannin's offense kind of came alive a little bit after a tough game against Union. So we'll see if Pickens' defense plays a little better, see if they get some kids back that they didn't have last week against North Murray, and see if they can get off the field. I know that's one thing the coaches wanted to work on this week is doing better getting off the field on a 3 and outs and not staying on the field so long, and getting the offense when it's rolling like it did last week, getting it back on the field and adding to the point total.
Prediction time. I'll go ahead and start us out. I think this game is going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I got Fannin 35, Pickens 28. Lawrence, you go ahead.
I will go. Yeah, Lawrence, you go.
Okay. I have Pickens 28, Fannin 14.
And I will, well, let's just say the last time these two teams played, it was a nail biter last play of the game type
Trevor
thing.
Stone to Brandon Minner.
And I'm kind of half expecting that just because of how these two teams' season so far is going. I'm half expecting that. I will go Pickens. It'll be tough for Pickens because obviously this is a rivalry game that hasn't been played in a long time, but it's also Fannin's home opener. The Fannins got to get some things that they want to get off on a good note. So I'm going to take Pickens, and I will say 31-28. Fine.
Get a field goal in there. I like it.
Get a field goal in there.
Well, we've hyped the Pickens Fannin game up on the show already. Let's talk about some other key games. One game that I think is probably maybe the second best game in the state of Georgia, Rome and Carrollton. Lawrence, lead us off. Talk about that game for a little bit.
Yeah, you've got two of the best young quarterbacks in our area, Reese Fountain at Rome, Julian Lewis at Carrollton, everybody knows about. Like I said, we've heard a lot about the Carrollton offense. Their defense stepped up last week with 3 interceptions against South Paulding, which was huge, and them able to knock off South Paulding 28-21. Going to be a great defensive battle down there in Carrollton. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We'll see how the freshman responds, man, with that Rome defensive front chasing him around all night. I like Rome in a close one, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Carrollton wins.
Yeah, I also like Rome in a close one. And it's not because of Fountain in the offense; they're great, but that Rome defense is just something else. But I'm interested to see how Juju does against a very good defense. I look, both these two quarterbacks are going to be playing on Saturdays. There's no arguing that. Juju is going to be an absolute stud, just making his 3rd career start tomorrow night. But I think that Rome defense is going to be the reason why Rome wins this football game.
I'll go opposite, and I'll go Carrollton. Game's at Carrollton. I think, while Juju might be running for a little bit, he's got young legs, so he'll be able to take it. But I think Carrollton will come away with a close one at their home place, knock off Rome, and somewhat I guess people would say surprising win.
Great football game. Real quick, I want to talk about this one. Adairsville traveling to Tiger to play Raven County. Lawrence, you actually saw Adairsville last week.
Yeah, I saw them put up 567 yards of offense. They had 4 touchdowns over 60 yards. They're going to need it again this Friday night up in Tiger, man, against a very good Raven County team. On paper, man, it looks like this game's probably going to be like 75-68. It'll probably end up being 14-7. Being a Northwest Georgia guy, I'm pulling for the Tigers, the Adairsville Tigers. And I see Raven winning a close one, 21-14.
Yeah, I do. Well, Ravens defense has been great so far. Obviously they get the transfer quarterback from West Forsyth. He's done great. I also like Raven, but I think Adairsville covers. I think what's the spread? 14 Raven?
20 points
20 Raven. I think Adairsville covers, but Raven wins the football game. Real quick, RJ, we've got just a few seconds.
Yeah, I'll take Raven as well at their place. They're playing well. Defense is just going to have to limit Adairsville big playability. If they do that, they'll come away with a win.
Guys, hard to believe we're already going into week 3. It's crazy how fast it comes and goes. Thank you guys for tuning in to North Georgia High School Kickoff Show. Lawrence, RJ, thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. live right here on Team FY and Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy your Friday nights.
B&M Metals has been serving the Southeast for almost 50 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, B&M Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. They pride themselves on providing great service and quality at a competitive price. Give B&M Metals a call at 706-864-6068 or visit them at 6195 Highway 52 East in Murrayville or at bmmetalroofing.com. B&M Metals, protecting everything that matters to you most.
The red tag sale is back.
Who's that guy?
His name is Red Tag. He's here to save some green. He's slashing prices left and right for the home of your dreams. Save thousands on select in-stock homes, that's what we say. If you want to save some green, just look for the man in red.
My name is Gary.
Don't.
Save thousands on select homes at the Red Tag Sale.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
The wait times are shorter, so get to Days and pre-order your new Chevy today. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is your pre-order headquarters. If Chevy builds it, we can reserve your slice of happiness right now. And as soon as your new Chevy rolls off that truck, we'll deliver it right to you. So get it done. Pre-order your new Chevy today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Metals has been serving the Southeast for over 40 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, North Georgia Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. Give the team at North Georgia Metals a call at 706-276-1633 or visit them at 15544 Highway 515 South in Ellijay or on the web at northgeorgiametals.com. B&M Metals has been serving the Southeast for almost 50 years. From metal roofs and panels to gutters and metal accessories, B&M Metals is your one-stop shop for all things metal. They pride themselves on providing great service and quality at a competitive price. Give B&M Metals a call at 706-864-6068 or visit them at 6195 Highway 52 East in Murrayville or at bmmetalroofing.com. B&M Metals, protecting everything that matters to you most.
The red tag sale is